Alright, good evening ladies and gents, welcome back to Compound Interesting. In today's video I want to discuss the capitulation that we've been seeing across the NFT market. Is right now a generational buying opportunity to sell JPEGs to normies in the next bull cycle, or are things going to get worse? And I also want to discuss all the updates across the Yuga Labs ecosystem, most of all in regards to the upcoming Legends of the Mara, which is supposed to drop this month. So with all that said, let's dive straight in. Alright, first I want to discuss the Forge, the heavy-metal game, quickly, and just want to say that technically it's a very good game. Like, it's probably extremely difficult to be able to get 30,000 unique NFTs into whichever wallet is playing the game. So you actually have your own personal NFT in the game, playing the game. And on a technical front, the game is well done, but I have to admit the game is really boring. It's not very exciting, not very fun, and yeah, I'm kind of getting sick of playing it at the moment. And I think most people would agree it's not the most entertaining, most fun game. Like, maybe some people like it, but yeah, personally it's not the most fun game. Nevertheless, Yuga Labs have just hired like 3 top gaming CEOs in the last few months, and what they're going to contribute isn't really going to be felt just yet. So there's a lot of probably interesting things coming. Now, this game I wouldn't say it's a flop, but it's just not like super fun. But we do have to remember that this is just one step in a procedure of games. Like, this isn't the end of the road for heavy-metal or the heavy-metal collection. So Doogie Dash was just the one stage. This is the next stage, and they said this. I think they said this is going to be a perpetual game, but I think building your forge is just the first step in the game. So it's not going to just be like, oh, you're placing tiles and you're cleaning shit for the whole time. Eventually you're going to be battling something, and there's going to be a little bit more interesting stuff going on in the game, I hope. But what's coming next is Legends of the Mara, and just today or just yesterday we got all of these tweets from connected projects. So here is a slideshow of all the different tweets from different collections. So first you can see this picture. You can see a variety of different projects here. So we'll start at the very top. We can see a coda, and behind the coda is some vessels. Then to the right is Renga, and to the right of him is 10KTF, Forgotten Runes Wizard Cult. Then we have an ape there with his heavy metal on his lap. Then we have a Meebit. Then we have a World of Women, a Cryptode, and a Mutant Town. So they're all the collections around the... It kind of looks like a poker table or something, but they're all playing some sort of card game, and that's the Legends of the Mara, which is some sort of strategy card game. So that looks pretty exciting, and you'll see from this video all of these separate projects release some sort of art in regards to the Legends of the Mara game, which is coming very soon. And because of this NFT capitulation that we've seen, like that we saw recently, I managed to skip a few vessels with the very few last dregs of Ethereum that I had in my wallet. So I got 2 vessels at a cheap price. But yeah, the next upcoming thing is Legends of the Mara, which is going to include other deeds and vessels. So in the short term, that's what I was kind of thinking. That's probably one of the better bets at the moment. Now take a mental snapshot of this photo and we'll see where it is as well. Look at this. So this was shared by Bored Ape Yacht Club. So the original photo was shared by Other Side, and then this photo was shared by Bored Ape Yacht Club. And it's a heavy metal and a bored ape and one of the heavy metal creatures, what are they called? Companions. And they're looking at an iPad or some sort of photo of the exact photo that we just saw. So like I've been saying for months and months and months, they've continually been hinting at it, that these two worlds will collide. So the Bored Ape Yacht Club universe and the Other Side universe, they haven't really fully, like, the stories haven't meshed in together yet, but they're continually hinting at that's coming very soon. And here's another little hint showing the Legends of the Mara roundtable in the heavy metal Bored Ape Yacht Club universe. And here's a little clip that Figgy, one of the 10KTF, one of the guys started 10KTF, like one of the top guys in Yuga Labs, he shared this video of I guess a few of the team members and a few lucky people who got to play the Other Side. So they're actually testing and playing the Other Side game. They're actually testing and playing the Other Side game, which is supposed to release at some point this year. So here's a little video footage of just an ape running around in the swamp by the clubhouse, and there's more footage of him going into the clubhouse and taking a piss in the urinal and stuff like that. I personally think the game looks great. Well, like, we don't know if it's fun yet, but I like the idea of being able to hang out in the swamp and being able to hang out in the Bored Ape Yacht Club universe. So I think it's encouraging. I think it's probably hinting that, okay, we're making progress here. I think that's probably why they're sharing these videos, like, just to show us, yeah, we're still working on this. This is coming out probably sooner than you think. So I think that's probably why they're sharing it, or just showing that. And they also mentioned that some people are going to be able to play this soon to help test them on it. So if you're at all exposed to the Yuga Labs ecosystem, if you're at all exposed to any of these JPEGs, which I'm sure, I said there's a high likelihood that you are, considering you're watching this video, I'm sure you felt the pain that happened over the last month or so, and the extreme drop that we don't really often see in JPEGs. Like, NFTs tend to trend down slowly over time rather than nuke all in one go. And the reason that it is nuked so fast, which it doesn't usually do, because they're illiquid, so it's harder to sell them really fast. So the reason they nuked, well, first of all, there was the whole Azuki fiasco, which drained $40 million from the NFT space. So there's less money going around within the entire broader NFT ecosystem. So $40 million taken away. Plus, that kind of turned out to be a bit of a rug. So that wasn't a great look for the whole NFT ecosystem. And then a lot of apes had taken loans against their apes. So maybe when apes were like 60 Ethereum, they took a loan at 30 Ethereum, or a loan of 35 Ethereum or 40 Ethereum. And then when apes started trending down, and then when this Azuki thing happened and floor prices across the board started getting hit, there was a deleveraging event, a massive liquidation in apes. So apes really plummeted, and mutants as well really plummeted. So a lot of people were taking loans on BendDAO and Blend, etc., etc. So we had this massive big nuke the last couple of days, and often that marks a local bottom when people are forced sellers, because people don't really want to be selling at these prices. Anyone who's still holding this JPEG, for example, a Bored Ape, anyone who wanted to sell a Bored Ape probably would have sold it already for like 60 or 50, etc., etc. And when it gets down to 40, like, they probably don't want to sell it, and when it gets down to 30, they definitely don't want to sell it. But if they took out a loan against it, then they had to sell it. So the liquidations kind of usually mark a local bottom. So we saw massive liquidations when Bitcoin started trending down from 69 to 30k. Now, we did have big deleveraging cycles within that downtrend, which like kept going even after big liquidations. But after every major liquidation, we saw some sort of relief or a little bit of sideways action. It wasn't just liquidation. So potentially a local bottom has been formed here at apes. I think they got down to about 28 Ethereum at the very lowest. But if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I'm more of a long-term investor than a short-term speculator or trader. So I kind of want to look at this from a longer-term perspective. So the current market cap for Bored Apes are $640 million. The current market cap for other side is like $100 to $200 million. So first, let's look at cryptocurrencies with the same market cap as other side right now. And you can see there's so much dog shit in here that probably no one has ever heard of, or no one really uses. And this is all valued the same as other side. Probably one of the best chances of becoming a metaverse in the future. And here's a list of coins that are higher than Bored Apes. So Bored Apes has a floor roughly about $640 million market cap right now. And these are all the coins that are higher than Bored Apes right now. And when you think about it, like, how many of these coins have the general public actually heard about? Like, I'd put any bet that Bored Apes are 100 times more well known than any of these cryptocurrencies. So when the next bull run comes, like, Bored Apes, let's put aside other side everything, but Bored Apes have really infiltrated the mainstream culture. When like these top CT guys, when they're planning their long-term cycles, they're thinking, okay, who's going to be my exit liquidity in the next cycle? So they think, okay, TradFi or TradFi is going to be my exit liquidity in the next cycle. So previously they bought Bitcoin when it was $6,000 and they sold it to MicroStrategy or some pension fund when it was 50 grand. So who's going to be the exit liquidity in the next cycle for our JPEGs? So we know Bored Apes are a bit infamous, and a lot of people hate them, but that doesn't really matter. All marketing is good marketing, and a huge amount of people have heard of them or seen them before, so they're not going to go away, in my opinion. And I think a lot of people say they're never going to reach the kind of floor prices that they did in the previous cycle. I think they will, personally. But we also have to think about who is going to be the exit liquidity. Is it going to be retail? Is it going to be TradFi? Now, I don't think it's going to be TradFi personally. I think it's going to be celebrities and wannabe influencers, like people who want to flex, will buy Bored Apes, be like, oh, this is worth a couple $100,000. Look how cool I am, etc., etc. I think when you see a lot of celebrities buying Bored Apes again, or a lot of influencers, when you see a lot of normie kind of influencers buying Bored Apes, I think that will be a good signal. Yeah, maybe it's time to offload my bags at this point. And if Bored Apes go ahead and do very well in the next cycle, then everything in the Yuga Labs ecosystem is going to follow them. Now, when do I think this will happen? From my experience of being in NFTs, which is like 1 or 2 years, NFTs tend to lag crypto by about 6 months or so. So NFTs just had huge liquidations events, huge drops, and this is about 6 months or maybe 8 or 9 months after crypto had massive deleveraging, massive nukes, and NFTs peaked maybe 6 months after crypto peaked. So I think there will be a bit of action, but the real NFT bull run is going to come after the real crypto bull run, and the real crypto bull run isn't going to be for another couple of years. So if you're hoping for any like massive pumps in the short term, it's extremely unlikely, in my opinion. But if you do have the patience to wait a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, you could see enormous returns buying JPEGs, or just even holding the JPEGs you have at these prices. Now, obviously, I think probably the better strategy, like we just discussed, because NFTs lag crypto, it's probably better to just hold crypto. Even though I'm not following my own advice here, I don't pretty much have no Ethereum in my wallet. All my Ethereum is invested in JPEGs, which is not what I want. Really wish I had taken some profits on some JPEGs when they were doing well a few months ago, but I didn't. So I'm not going to sell them now when they're quite down and crypto is quite up. But I will look to balance it out, so I'm like 50-50 NFTs and Ethereum. If NFTs go ahead now over the next couple of months and start doing well, that's just what I'm doing personally. Obviously, that's not financial advice. Completely depends on what your bags are. But yeah, like I kind of hinted at there, I think NFTs potentially, because crypto looks like it might be topping out here around 30k for Bitcoin. Maybe it'll go a little bit higher, but it doesn't look like it's going to keep screaming upwards. So that could be a good environment for NFTs to start taking off again. And with Legends of the Mara coming out this month, or very soon hopefully, maybe that will bring a bit of attention and a bit of interest back into the NFT space. And that's why I bought some vessels. And like Codas are only like 4 Ethereum now, and they used to be like 30 or 40. Oh man. And Codas right now are down bad as well, and Codas are going to be a very important part of this game. So there's Codas and there's vessels and there's other deeds. I think for the short term, they seem like the smart play, and they've been holding up quite well in comparison to the other Yuga Labs assets. And finally, someone wanted me to mention Apecoin as well. Apecoin hasn't been looking too well, and its market cap is about the same as the entire market cap of Bored Ape Yacht Club. So for me personally, Apecoin is not worth buying unless you're staking it with an ape. So if you're getting those big staking rewards, then yeah, you go ahead, buy some Apecoin if you like. And it's pretty low now, it's like under $2. But if you're just buying it, like there's so much inflation to come for Apecoin, I would just not buy Apecoin, and I would buy like a vessel or something. If you don't have a huge amount of money, another side vessel, it's like I think a couple of £100, but that might still be too much. But if you want to get Apecoin, I think you can stake it on Paraspace and still get the high returns from like the same returns that people who have Bored Apes or people who have Mutant Apes are getting, because they're just launching it all into one pool. So if you wanted to buy Apecoin, I'd say stake it on Paraspace unless you have an ape. Alright, thank you so much for watching. Sorry your buys are probably down terribly bad at the moment, but fair play to you hanging in there. It's just like me, hanging in there through the bear market and watching our JPEGs slowly become worthless. Alright, see you in the next one. Cheers.